is having a day of its own today. I would say to the graves. So that is what I would, I don't know why I have, the reason why I have bullish trade set up here is because for January, pound is very directional. So as long as it still makes higher lows and higher highs, don't bother selling. So if you are seeing right now, which is maybe a turnaround on pound, then it's still a maybe. Only trade in the trend direction. Because it's pretty stubborn, and if the market doesn't agree with you, it's gonna be a bloodbath on this earth. So I'm sorry. Heck, I'm gonna say it differently. If you try to trade against pound before it's actually the market also agrees with you, you're going to incur losses. The question is, how do you treat those losses? How do you behave with those losses? Do you counter trend? Do you revenge trade? Do you trade? Do you don't trade at all? None of them are good answers. Those three answers I just gave you, or three options I just gave you, are terrible responses to how you should be dealing with it. But by all means. So if pound dollar does turn around, we will be celebrating we'll be celebrating, and we will be dancing. We'll be happy dance, happy dance, and then we'll take the money with us home.
Let's say you did take this trade. What if you did? How would you enter, right? What if you're new to order blocks? What if you're nervous, right? Let's say you're too nervous to put a pending order here, right? You don't want to put a buy stop here because you're not sure about your stop loss. You're just nervous, right? I got something for you. One thing you can definitely do is come down to a lower time frame and wait for a break of structure, right? So if you don't know when to enter, check this out. You could have did this. You could have said, okay, let me wait for price to break above this resistance. Maybe you watched it on the 5-minute. You would see this bullish engulfing candle, and then look at the next candle pushing up. And it's breaking the resistance. Maybe with those confirmations, you felt more confident to take the trade. Stuff like that. You would be up what? But price where price currently is, you'd be up 28 pips right now. Let's say you took it from here though. Let's say you took it from the actual order block, you'd be up 39 pips right now. So 10 more pips, but nonetheless, you still get in the trade, So those of you who need reassurance, there's nothing wrong with that.
I gave my analysis of GBP JPY. This is when it was at 150.0. I said wick off accumulation, it's going to climb, retrace at 150.9 and then climb. Now I was half right. Obviously it showed the wick off distribution. I was half right. So this is what happened. This is how it played out. So actually what happened was, before I get into that, this is what happened. As I said, I've been watching gold for longs for a while. Not gold, sorry, GBP JPY for longs for a while, just because, once again, trend line strategy. This trend line has been respected all the way here. Price broke out, retraced back down, found the support, and naturally the next step I would think would be for it to start climbing again, and that's exactly what it did in an emphatic manner. Look at that. It's just been climbing day on day on day on day. Now, I initially thought this move was going to be the move that's going to catch gold GBP JPY going all the way up, but it climbed up. On Friday we got a good data from, I think, a CPI that shot it up. It retraced back down and it sold off, and it sold off back to this support line. And I was annoyed because I was in a pretty good long position. I was nearly 50R up, and then I went back down to break even. I should have taken some partials, my fault. But yeah, gold came, GBP JPY GJ came back down here, and it's making high highs ever since, climbing, breaking supports, breaking resistance, breaking supports, resistances, up, resistance, breaking resistances. And now it's found a bit of like a resistance at this area here. But this isn't an order block, that's the thing. So I feel like this is actually what I drew before this happened. I drew this before it happened. Do you know why I drew this like this? Because I thought, okay, price is going to climb here. It's going to find some resistance here because there's a lot of price action here. So I thought it's going to find some resistance here and then carry on going. That's exactly what it did. And now I think it's going to kind of do the same thing here, to be honest. What I see GJ doing is that I feel like it's still it needs to make its way up to this order block here, which is 156. So now, right now, what I see it doing would be, I'd see it coming back down here, just kind of doing that, maybe for 1 day, and then going all the way up here. So how long did that last? This one started on the 23rd, ended on the 27th, maybe longer than 1 day. There might be a couple of days, 23rd to 27th. But was that over the week? Okay, so that was, yeah, so Thursday to today, price did that, and it shot up. So maybe give it 2 days, maybe 2 days of just consolidating, then they'll break out and go up to 1560. That's what I think it'll do. And the only reason why it's kind of faulted here is because of this kind of big impulsive move down. Now, it wasn't big enough to break a support, so therefore it's not really like a strong order block, but it's still worth noting because there's an emphatic move down, and that can only have been done by institutional trading. So I'm going to see this as a resistance. If you want to short it here, you can probably short it here for a scalp. I really wouldn't do that just because I'm looking for the bigger move to the upside. But yeah, I think GJ is going up to 156. And even if there's news from the government about Omicron and lockdowns, I think it will bring it down a little bit, but I don't think it will be enough to break this trend, because I still think the long-term trade, if you're a swinger, is taking GJ all the way up to equal highs. So I'm talking, if you want to hold a really good long position, you want to hold it to 158. Do you know what I mean? And look at the way it moved here. From here, it was October 4th to October 21st. Now, it only took 3 weeks for it to climb that much. Now it's climbing that much in a short space of time. So I wouldn't think it'll take too long. We probably won't even be, well, it might not even be January. It might be before January that it gets to equal highs, to be honest. But I still think equal highs for GJ. Yeah, same as me, Denise. I believe the same thing. Equal highs for GJ. Probably by beginning of January, maybe like first week of January, second week of January, maybe even sooner than that. I think it's going to go back to 158. So yeah.
Okay, so if you're trader number one, obviously you got smoked, right? This was a rough move for you. If you're trader number two, you also got smoked. You probably got stopped out. You might have blown an account, something like that, right? If you're trader number three, you also got smoked. But then if you're trader number four, then you're excited and you take your profits right there. So if we look at this, traders 1, 2, and 3, this is, and by the way, this is what retail traders are doing. This is what the retail crowd does. They short with no stop loss. And what they say is please come back, please come back, please come back. And one of the four traders does okay, while three of the traders, so the average retail trader, gets smoked. And I'm not saying that you can always be trader number four, right? Because that's very difficult to do. Reversals are very, very difficult. But what I'm saying is that you kind of get the idea of like, this is what the retail crowd is doing. So every once in a while, one retail trader will get lucky, right? Or maybe we won't call it luck, but one retail trader will be fortunate, whereas most will just get their money taken from them. So when we take that into account, sure, there are retail traders who may be making money, but a vast majority of retail traders right now are losing money. Either they got stopped out, they got their account blown, things like that, right? Some food for thought at the very least.